Hello everyone, this is Ronin Yeti with another video showcasing Yenen's Tale. However, this time I'm supposed to be showing off some new props I made for another scene actually. So the final project had to do with making this scene more elaborate. However, I feel this scene's elaborate enough. I feel there's enough in it, and if I were to add 6 more type of props, it would just look too much. So I've been having these ideas for my K crystals over here. They are going to be used as save point function. They're going to have save point functionality, but also they're going to be used to dive into the memories of basically the inhabitants of each planet and the planet's memories itself. So I don't really have this going. Oh yeah, by the way, I did get the walking. My friend Shay Rimhold helped me get the walking down. It just had to do with changing a few lines of code, which I knew it was, thankfully. But yes, it's a little wonky. The transition's a little wonky, as you can see, but it does work. But anyway, when you go to this K crystal, you'll click on it. There'll be a slight transition, and then this scene will happen. Now, I am not entirely done with this scene. For my final project, this will be what I'm turning in. However, I am going to make a lot more stuff for this eventually for the Dreams version coming up in 2 months. But I wanted to add more animations. I actually wanted to add more textures because some of these textures are kind of basic. There's actually textures. There's actually a lot of textures at places you can't really see all that all that well. But okay, so first off, this is called the Heat Sink Summit of Northbridge City, and this is basically, it looks like a big heat sink on top of a city. It's used to it's basically all these spires here. They're buildings, and they also help control the city below. So with that being said, that in itself, the city is one of my props. As you can see, I made some roads with a certain texture I use in a lot of my things. Made the buildings. I made 2 heat sink fans. Those also another prop. Those are not animated right now, sadly, but they would be eventually. And so I'll show off the other 4 props actually in game. So this time I actually have the camera not being static. The camera is actually on Yenen, which I think for certain areas eventually with Yenen's Tale after the Dreams version, because I do want to make another version. I'm thinking the cameras are going to go between static and following, kind of like some older RPGs. But again, for some reason, this navigation mesh is a little wonky on this area, but I will try to show off some things. So first off, let's go over here. And let's look at these things. Are called Animanet stations instead of Ethernet, because everything on Planet Perrin kind of resembles computer parts or parts of a computer or computerized things. And what's sad is you can't really see the texture of the warning sign on these. They're actually more on the back. But these are Animanet stations. Basically, these are teleportation systems between different parts of the city. Think Futurama, except think Futurama meets Star Trek. Bam, there you go. Let's go over here. There's a few of these scattered about. These are called light drive vehicles. From the top, they kind of look like discs, like CDs, with a mixture of a hard drive. If you know what a hard drive looks like, if you ever taken it out and looked at the disc inside the hard drive, it's got a handle at the top. I can't really show you the angles here too well. And no, I don't have a collision on there. But there's a handle on the top, and people just kind of stand on this glass area here and kind of go around. Let me reset that real quick. Also, there's a lot of these Animanet cables kind of going everywhere as well. Those are just spread out in different areas, as you can see. Again, this camera that I've got attached to Yenen here can't really look around all that well. But anyway, next thing, we've got these geomechanical trees, which are like giant flowers almost. Again, I was not able to texture these as much as I want to, but basically these steel leaves are both water irrigate, like they capture water, they capture air, and they recycle air and stuff. And also the tops are satellite dishes and Ethernet cable, or internet dishes, information dishes. So they all the plants, or most of the plants, especially around the cities of Perrin, they all serve not just one purpose. They've all been mechanized. There we go, geomechanized, and will serve different purposes. So that's another prop. Sorry, I have to keep going back. Like I said, this is a little wonky. And I don't know if it'll let me... the navigation mesh won't let me around this. I don't know. I tried many different things. But as you can see here, there's a statue. Statue's holding a book, and he's wearing a cape. And it kind of looks like Yenen, but that's because Yenen and this guy are both perennians. Actually, what they're named as. Here, I'll just make everything much easier for everybody. So there you go. Got a little statue. Again, I was not able to do any details on the statue except for the book. But I will eventually go back for the Dreams version and give details to the Geomech Trees, the statue, probably the buildings themselves, although I kind of like what's going on there. I think the cooling fans look pretty good. Again, I'm trying to stay with a low poly, simple, textured version for this, or style for this version of the game. Bam, as you can see, yeah, the normal's only face up. But as you can see, there's actually some more details under here. There's details on top of here. There's little details on the handle, details on the glass. So there's little details everywhere. As you can see with the animated stations, yeah, there's like a giant, yeah, look at all that. So there are details that need to be probably added, and details need to be moved around. But Birch asked for 6 different props having to do with something natural, geomechanical trees, a statue, a building, which in this case created an entire city, and some other stuff. So yeah, I hope he likes it, and I hope everyone else watching this likes it, and where I'm going with this. But stay tuned, definitely in the next couple months, because I will be mastering Yenen's Tale, at least the Dreams version. There's some buttons there. Just some basic stuff. But yeah, and of course we got the perennial orange sky as usual. And oh, there we go. Finally going around. And as for these light discs, they can only really run on the road of these. These circuits basically power the underside of the light disc vehicles. So I was actually going to animate these as well going around. So again, the Dreams version is going to look much better. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and again, stay tuned to more Yenen's Tale coming up in the next couple months. Oh yeah!